Hi, my name is Aysia Gilbert. I'm here with the Samuel Proctor Oral History Program at the National Mall in Washington, D.C., and I am here with Ms.
Hope Coleman from Boston, Mass.
All right, and could you please spell your name for the record?
HopeColeman.
All right, and I am also here with
Tori Bedford from GBH News in Boston, TORIBEDFORD.
All right, could you tell us a little bit about your son, Terrence Coleman?
My son was kind. He'd give you anything. He had a heart. He was diagnosed in his early 20s with schizophrenic paranoia. I tried keeping him motivated with CDs and DVDs for the simple fact he was a 50 Cent fan. And all he did was talk about 50 Cent. So we started downloading music, videos, and he would go on in the area. He'll sit on the steps in the south end of Boston. He'll sit on the steps where we lived at 245 Sharman Ave in Boston. And then he'd go to the two barbershops on Washington Street. And also the mailman, they would leave notes of what they want, music or movies. That's how my son was very loving, kind. My son missed his medicine. He missed his medicines. I noticed that he was sitting on the steps for a couple of days in October. It was cold. So I happened to call the doctor, and the doctor said, call the ambulance. I called the ambulance, but the police came. I said, I didn't call for you all. I called for the ambulance. They said, we'll give it a try. I said, no. The other one said, we gotta protect the EMS. Like 5 minutes later or so, the ambulance came. They said, where is he at? I said, my son just went in the house. I'm on the first floor. You go up a couple of steps, go into my apartment. So I took the EMS to my hallway. You open the door and see my son down the hall sitting with his head down because he was cold with his hoodie on. My son quietly, the EMS said, Terrence, can you come in the hallway? My son quietly got up, walked down to the hallway, outside the door, into the hallway. The other EMS is at my table. Asked me where to take him. I said Tufts University, where my son was evaluated when he was in his his early 20s, diagnosed with schizophrenic paranoia. So we're in the hallway. I shut my door. The EMS said, Terrence, you're gonna go to the hospital. My son said, I don't wanna go. He said, you're gonna go. My son said, I don't wanna go. I said, Terrence, just go to get checked because you have asthma. He said, I don't wanna go. Meanwhile, my son made two statements. The EMS said, Terrence, you're gonna go. He said, I don't wanna go. He said, you're gonna go in a deep voice. In that deep voice, I was there next to my son. The police, all I heard the door was pushed. The police burst in, locked me down, me and my son down. All I heard was two shots, and I'm yelling. I got up, I'm yelling, what part of the body you shoot my son? They're saying, get out, get out. Get out, I had to get out the hallway. I said, no, what part of the body you shoot my son? He said, get out, get out. So I stepped down one step, two step, I went in the street banging on my truck. Then I saw my apartment door open. My granddaughter opened the door, my son had fell back. She saw when his eyes went in the back of his head. He was gone. My other granddaughter came. They were handcuffing my son. My son wasn't hollering or anything because he was gone. I'm still yelling in the street, what part of the body you all shoot my son? I never heard him holler. I see my door open. They taking my 5 grandbabies out the door. I'm like, where are you taking my grandbabies? Give me my grandbabies. They're like, no, tell the parents to come pick them up at the headquarters. I said, no, give me my grandbaby. Meanwhile, my husband's still in the basement. My husband, I had just buried my husband 2017 on top of my son. I remember my husband telling me, the tall one and the short one, I said, yes. He said, they said, we finally got him out the way. We did a good job. We ain't got to worry about him anymore. And that's a damn shame. I brought my son into the world. They shouldn't have never used a damn gun. They need experienced people to come out for mental health, not no gun or cop to come around mental health, because they don't know how to handle mental health, the situations. I go to the hospital. I said, my son was just shot. Where's my son? What part of the body was he shot? They said, can you come into a room? I go into a room. And they put their heads down. They said, I'm sorry. Your son was shot in the groin and the abdomen. My son was already, they said he died on the way. My son didn't die on the way to the hospital. My son died in my damn hallway. He died in my hallway because he didn't respond at all. His eyes went in the back of his head. I'm not stupid. There's no sense of me lying. And I go there. I see my son, and I just scream. My son didn't deserve this. My son was quiet. I feel bad that I even called 911. If I didn't call, he would be here today. And then you got the damn commissioner at that time, Evans, got on the news and said, the mother's a liar. She wasn't there at all. It's a damn lie. I was with my child. I was knocked down and bruised up by the police next to my son. It should have been me instead of my son, because my son didn't have a life. He couldn't live his life. And it's not fair. He had nieces, he has a sister, and she has 5 kids. And they all miss him, they love him, and they're badly traumatized. The whole neighborhood, they miss him. People I never met that came up to me and said, I miss your son because my son gave music, DVDs. My son. I just wish to hell my son was here today, because it's not fair for mental health people to get shot for no damn reason. For no reason. I was doing what a mother's supposed to do, call for help. I called for help, it didn't work. I called and they killed my child instead. For what? It's so traumatized. I can't eat or sleep holidays. I have to go to the cemetery. Can't enjoy holidays. I wouldn't want to enjoy holidays without my child. This is not fair. It's not fair, but they can sit down at the table with their family and put food in their mouth. My son is 10 feet down. And every time they put food in their mouth, I hope they think about my son. Because it's not fair holidays. You can't sit at the table with your family because one's missing. Graduation for his nieces and nephews, he can't go there. He was a role model for them. And it's just not fair. Come all the way out here fighting for justice and we still need justice. Federal civil rights lawsuit, nothing's going on right now, but it's time for a damn change. My son also has a picture in middle school. My son has a picture at Harvard University, the Children's Museum in Harvard Museum, and they framed it for him. And I left it there. My son was special. I had 4 miscarriages before I had my son, and I just wanted 2 kids. I had to go once a week to a special doctor when it came to my 7 months. He was special. He wasn't no problem. He was no problem at all. He had no record of nothing. He was quiet, and it's a damn shame. It's so, I can't say the word, but it's just not right. The pain is killing me. But I'm gonna keep on fighting for justice. I'm not giving up hope, because my son would appreciate it if I keep on fighting, because he did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. Nothing. He got aunts and uncles and his nieces. They're badly traumatized, but they graduated from high school this year. They attended college. But he has my 10-year-old granddaughter, she was 5 at the time. She went to school and told the teacher she had to walk in her uncle's blood because he was shot. I had to go get her for school. She was only 5. It's so trauma, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere. I see people with their kids. It hurts me. I see a person walking, look just like my son, and my heart just started pounding. And I froze because I thought it was my son. But I know he's in heaven looking down, hoping we all open all these cases.
Yeah.
It's time for a damn change, and it's time for Kim Shaney. She's shady because she's not doing anything. She's not helping, pushing anything. All these officials run around talking like they got something to say. Nothing comes out but a bunch of bull crap, especially when it comes to reopen the cases and federal civil rights lawsuit. They need to get their shit together. Mm-hmm. No justice, no damn peace. And I'm tired, but I'm not giving up hope. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool. Have you met with D.A. Rollins?
No, I got a letter under my door, but I don't know how it got under my door. It went to the wrong address and it wound up under my door. She never contacted me. She know where I live. She know where I live.
How old was your son?
My son was 31 years old. He would have been 36 this year in March. We would celebrate our birthday together, March 29th, and mine was 11th. No one contacted me to say sorry or anything. The ones walking around talking about George Floyd, this happened before George Floyd. But my prayers go out to George Floyd's family because I've been there for him also. And for other officials talk about him, what about here and back there in Massachusetts? What about the ones that they shot up?
Yeah.
Why can't they open up the cases, but they can still talk about other ones? You're gonna do your job, do the damn job right. Instead of getting all the votes, you're not doing nothing. Yeah. Do your job first. All you're doing is sitting down collecting the damn money. It's not about that, it's about people's lives. It's time for a damn change. And she need to get her act together, all of them. We're out here marching, protesting. They can come out and step out and say something. The cat got the tongue. This is real. This ain't no damn joke. It ain't no joke when you mess with hope. And I'm not giving up hope.
What did you think, Hope, what did you think of the Floyd verdict?
Could have gave him more time.
Yeah, you're right.
Were you surprised?
Everybody else is getting shot up. But should have been more time. For all of these officers, all of them should have got time. Every single last one of them. Take their damn guns away, give them a damn water gun. It's tired of hearing about gun, gun, gun. They talk about people in the city with guns. What about the cops killing us? Killing our kids? That's the problem. They need to do something for the city. They're here to talk about other people's cases. What about there in Massachusetts, Boston?
That's what I wanted to ask you. I asked Carla this as well, but people say that it's not as big of a problem in Boston.
Because they cover up everything, that's why. Everything's covered up. But believe me, they're gonna regret what's been covering up. People got cameras and stuff now, even if you don't have cameras. The truth is the truth. I'm just tired of it. I'm just fed up. The officials need to come out instead of getting their votes. Just fed up. I'm so frustrated. I'm fed up. Here I am out here traveling, second time in Washington, D.C., fighting for justice, reopening cases, and prosecute the police. They promote the one that killed my son. They shot him, both of them shot my son, but they promoted And it's not fair.
What was the officer's name that killed your son?
Doyle and Finn.
Doyle Finn.
They're not officers, they're killer cops. That's what they are. They come and they shoot, and they keep shooting and shooting. So many people have been getting shot at so many times. It's just not right. Shoot below. Why you gotta shoot to kill? Because they don't give a crap. And that's the fact. They don't care. They don't damn care. But I care for my child and everybody else. And this is why we're here today, fighting for justice.
Is there anything else that you would like to share about your son or the situation that happened? Is there anything else you'd like to share about your son or the situation that happened?
My son shouldn't have been shot. My son should not have been shot, and I'm sorry I even dialed 911. I couldn't even hold my son and tell him I'm sorry. I didn't even hear him holler. He couldn't holler because they shot him twice, and they shot him in the groin and the arm. That's automatically gone. They intend to kill my son. Like they said in the basement of my apartment. We finally got him out the way. We did a good job. We ain't got to worry about him anymore. What kind of crap is that? And that's professional? Protecting the no. That's killer cops. And I'm gonna keep on fighting every goddamn day.
Yeah.
And every time I have to fight. Because I'm hurting inside.
Yeah.
I never think I'll be in this situation.
Yeah.
And it hurts because my son is kind, no record, even if he had a record or nothing, but he has nothing. He was quiet, lovable. Neighbors walk up to me. Your son would always walk past and say, hi, how are you, how's your kids? I never knew this person.
Had a loving spirit.
Yes. People walk past the house and they just stand there and shake their head. I can't believe it. You know, the barber shops on Washington Street in Boston. Both barber shops. And then the mailman's. It's hard, but I know my son. I'm proud of my son being what he was. My son kept himself motivated, and I kept him with laptops and DVDs and CDs. He was so happy. He used to buy his clothes on Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent. My son would buy his clothes off of it. I have one of his big hoodies, G-Unit, and I'm proud to keep it. My son would tell everybody about 50 Cent. And I said one time to Terrence, I said, Terrence, 50 Cent said, they heard on the news that 50's going broke. He said, no, I don't want to hear that. I go on the line and let me listen to stuff. He said 50 Cent is too smart for that.
He is.
That's why he's at where he's at now.
And your son knew it.
No, but he always wanted to meet him. But he got all his clothes and every time he put out a song or something, my son would definitely be he's always the first one in the store to grab it.
Oh.
And at one time he wanted to go to this record shop or somewhere where 50 Cent came to Massachusetts, and he couldn't make it. And I felt so bad because everything was 50-50, so when people would call and his friends would call, they'll ask for 50. They'll ask for 50, and they knew because my son told them about 50 Cent. Then people started buying his music also. My son had clothes and everything of 50 Cent.
Yeah.
And I got my table, I got a circle like the glass with 50 Cent. All the CDs my son made, and he was a Boston Celtics fan also. My son loved everybody. He wasn't. I can't even see my son now with gray hair. I can imagine what he looked like.
Growing old, they took that. What ways do you think that we could honor your son now that we're here together and we're all a part of this fight? What ways would you like us to honor Terrence?
He'd be more Pacific. Speaking out.
Yeah.
50 Cent fan. He's definitely a 50 Cent fan. I kept him motivated. That what kept his mind going. And that what really got him going and making CDs and downloading music. He was, I like to see my son's picture out there.
Yeah.
And
People to know about it.
more about him than what the cops say. He wasn't dangerous or anything. They'd have a knife or nothing. My son, I brought my kids up old-fashioned. I took care of the damn neighborhood kids. Everybody knows me there. You see me, I'm riding with a bunch of kids, taking them here to the park, anywhere. You know, but most of all, my grandkids, 5 of them. David Long, he's the only nephew of Terrence from my daughter. And the twins, Destiny and Danina, they're 19. Taina, she's 20. And my grandbaby, Taylor, she's 10. I know my son's looking down. I'm trying my best to fight for justice for him and everybody else, but most of all, bring out the damn truth. The truth is the truth.
Well, thank you for your time and thank you for speaking with us today. Thank you for your bravery. I really, appreciate hearing your story, hearing your son's story. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Did you see the pictures that you brought or the posted?
And this is, I have my son. Everybody will call him 50. They call him on the phone at home, 50.
Aww.
That's why I got the 50 there for 50
Yeah,
Cent.
he loved it.
And I hope 50 Cent hears me because my son was crazy about you. You're a big fan of his. He bought your clothes and music.
Right behind the silver pickup truck, and that's the sound truck. Actually, they can truck.